Hi, Alan Stratton from Woodturning. In my remote demonstration where I made this cross-grain box, of course there's not the same amount of time in a demonstration as I have in my shop. And while I was making the box, got the base done, illustrated how to do the base and hollowing and such, but then I had to skip the finishing of it. The finishing on the inside, that's no problem because I do have a mortise here to do it with. But when I did the top, I have the mortise here, but this side is not finished, and I would normally want to try and mount it from this side to do it, but there's nowhere to grab this side either. So I've maybe got a chicken and an egg situation here where I need to finish this, but this is finished, but I need to be able to grab and do this. So, well, let's figure it out. It'll be a quick lesson on how to mount when you're in difficulty, such as speeding through a demo so that you don't finish it in time. Let's do it.
During the actual demonstration, I skipped all finishing steps after finishing the bottom of the base. It turns out that watching someone sand during a demonstration is incredibly boring. I did need to show it once to show using beeswax and mineral oil as a sanding media to improve sanding and to cut dust. I also made one error which resulted in a small hole in the top of the lid. Being able to re-enter a project to fix or refine is something that we do all the time. It is a secret weapon, flexibility. So now let's clean this up and show how to fix and refine a post-demonstration project. In a cross-grain box, it is always best to start with the base, so that is where I will restart this project. Since I did cut a mortise in the base and I did sand and finish the underside, I can mount it again just as I did in the demonstration. There are only a couple of refinements that I want here at the base. This is exactly what I would normally do anyway. Then sand the base thoroughly. I will add a burn line for an accent. After making a burn, I like to sand once more with the fine grit to take the edge off the burn groove. That's all for the base. Very little more to do. A bigger problem is the lid. During the demonstration, I realized that I am allergic to zebrawood dust. I can control sanding dust with mineral oil and beeswax, but there is enough dust while using a gouge to cause me distress, and there is still more tool work to do. I opened the shop garage door, turned on the dust collector, turned on a fan behind me, and put on a respirator. Ooh, let's do this. Fortunately, I can start with the mortise I cut earlier. Unfortunately, it still needs to be sanded. There is a small divot on the top that I need to address while I finish the lid. Fortunately, the lid is thick enough that I have some flexibility. The lid is mounted to that mortise on the underside. Using the skew, I am cutting a very shallow tenon on the lid. Cutting out the small divot will also remove the tenon cut, but I am getting ahead of myself. Let's reverse the lid yet one more time using that shallow tenon. Before sanding, I want to refine the very center and reduce the rim. That's all for the underside of the lid. I have to show sanding once here since it is essential to the project and to avoiding my allergic reaction. My sanding media is a mix of 1/4 pound of chopped beeswax and 1 pint of mineral oil. It is dangerous to heat wax to melt it. Usually, a double boiler is required to avoid burning down the shop. However, I put my mix up in the attic last summer on a very hot day and when the attic is even hotter. After a day, I stirred the mix and put it up back in the attic. A day later, it was ready. A hot car is the heat source I will try for the next batch. This time, I smear it on and then sand. The sanding dust sticks together. When it shows any sign of dust, I smear more on, then on through the grits. Well, I survived, and I am still breathing easily. The lid underside is finished as I would in a normal process. I can reverse the lid into the underside mortise to address the top. I want to trim out that divot, blend out the temporary tenon, and blend in the rim again. Back to the final sanding. When using zebra wood in the future, I will use extreme personal protection against dust, whether tooling or sanding. When my current supply is gone, I will not be buying any more. There are many other pretty woods to choose from. There you have it, an essential skill to remount, tweak, and finish a project, whether from a demonstration or regular work. And if you can disguise a mortise or tenon in the project design, all the better. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe on my website because my notifications are more reliable than YouTube's. Please tell your friends about my weekly videos. I appreciate your comments and questions. Please wear your full face shield whenever the lathe is running. This is my ultimate safety tip.